Yeah, I never really understood that viewpoint. Don't we have to determine that a product is safe first before we say there's some ethical dilemma that we're not giving them something? Like the whole purpose of the trial is to determine its safety and efficacy.
Right, right.
So the question is, I know everyone's asking, well, why wouldn't there be a true placebo-controlled trial? It just seems like that's the first step. Why not?
Why not? Because we don't want the answers, right? I think that we would find there was a very small N of 559, I believe, for the HPV trial, which actually did have a true placebo. And they found that there was a very substantial, clinic or statistically significant risk associated with the vaccine when we actually did look at the data for the true placebo, which was the documents were released in a court battle over the HPV vaccine, and Merck is back in court right now. So I think that we know the answer. I think that there is risk. There are harms associated with vaccines, and that's something that's very difficult to talk about because if you do acknowledge that, then you're considered an anti-vaxxer, which, as you know, if you look through kind of my background during the pandemic, you get accused of being a eugenist as well. If you're at all vaccine hesitant or vaccine skeptical or want to require good evidence. We're really, I think, at a tipping point in your profession and in mine where I think the public is demanding much better evidence, and they should. People have been sold a lot of stories, and I love how you talk about looking externally for answers, looking externally for protection, and I think this applies to vaccines too. When I started digging into mucosal immunity and what our body actually can do to protect ourselves, I was really surprised that I had not, as a biology major and then a master's in public health, really not dug into that as far as immune protection. When the whole debate about masks came up, it really became very interesting to think about, well, what is the mask doing on top of, what my body's mucosal immunity is already doing to protect me against every single thing that I breathe or eat or drink? It's the lining of the oral cavity all the way through. So, I could talk about that later, but we have incredible defense mechanisms built into our biology. Why do we distrust that so much? Why do we think we need to look externally to other things? And I should confess here that for the first year, I did not take the flu shot last year. And I decided to just do an N of 1, experiment with myself to see if I could psychologically handle not getting the flu shot. And I decided, well, you know what? I believe that my body is resilient. I believe that it knows how to handle viruses. And I am going to do all of the appropriate things to take care of myself. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to drink water. I'm going to get in the prebiotics, the probiotics, everything. I'm going to do it all right. I'm already pretty healthy. Just see what happens. And I have to tell you, Roger, I was healthy all season, all hockey season. And that's going in and out of rinks, in and out of hotels. I was like, I wonder how long this is going to last. Knock on wood, I'm still healthy. I hate to even say this. I've never said this publicly before as an epidemiologist, and it's going to get me a lot of hate for saying I decided not to get the flu shot and I was healthier because other things could have gone into that. I did gargle salt water as well the moment I felt something coming on. So, I didn't completely, stick with my usual regimen and only change one variable. I changed two. So maybe good old folk medicine has some benefits too.